predicted things would change towards the end of times, and he's mentioning how societal changes will occur. What is going to change in culture? What is going to change in how people live, in how people interact? So we'll mention around 10 or 15 of the general trends predicted by our Prophet ﷺ. Of them, he explicitly predicted that our problem of this ummah would be an excess of wealth, a surplus of wealth, not a lack of wealth. Generally speaking, the ummah would have plenty of wealth. Hadith is in Sunan al-Tirmidhi. Every ummah is tested with one fitna. And the fitna that Allah will test my ummah with is money. The fitna that Allah will test my ummah with is money. Hadith in Sahih Bukhari, that one day money came from Bahrain, and the Prophet was going to distribute it at Fajr time. So he prayed Fajr, and he saw the masjid packed like it was Jum'ah. And he said, "It looks like you have heard that the money has arrived." They said, "Yes." He said, "I give you glad tidings, don't worry, you will get your money. But wallahi, I am not worried that you will be poor after I die. I am worried that this world will open its treasures to you, and you will compete with one another to see who has the most treasure. And in that competing, you will destroy yourselves like the nations before you destroyed themselves." So the Prophet ﷺ, when there was extreme poverty, when many Sahaba did not even have 2 pieces of cloth, when in the Madani phase, he himself ﷺ, as Aisha says, never ate to his full twice. When 6 weeks would go by and they didn't light a fire because they didn't have meat to cook. 6 weeks would go by without a fire. In that phase, the Prophet ﷺ predicted, my ummah will be a rich ummah. And we have wealth. Even the lands that are deemed to be poor, their natural resources are of the most wealthy. Even, for example, Afghanistan that has a low GDP, the natural resources in terms of minerals, in terms of what it has, the world is salivating over it because of what it has. So the Muslim ummah is blessed with wealth. Mismanagement and greed is what has destroyed it. But we are a wealthy nation overall. And alhamdulillah, by and large, in many countries, the Muslims are living good lives, including the ones here in the Western lands as well. So our Prophet predicted this. He also predicted that evils would spread. And this is many, many things. For example, he predicted that people will stop trusting one another. The loss of amana, trust. He said, when people stop trusting one another, wait for Judgment Day, it's around the corner. When amana is lost, when people stop trusting one another. He also predicted the rise of corrupt and evil rulers. When people who are not worthy become leaders, he said, wait for Judgment Day. The worst become the leaders, wait for Judgment Day. He also predicted that there would be plenty of bloodshed and fighting. He predicted that the ummah would fight at a time when no 2 Muslims had ever drawn swords against one another. Imagine that. Never in the seerah did 2 Muslims draw blood as a civil war in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Never did the 2 Muslim camps, in one occasion they came close to a fist fight, but it never went beyond that, never went beyond that. And even that fist fight, if you read the seerah, the munafiqun were the ones that were instigating it, and not even there. And the Prophet ﷺ predicted that the ummah would continually fight amongst itself until Judgment Day. Once the sword is unsheathed, he said, it will never be put back in, and the ummah will constantly fight until Judgment Day. He also predicted that not only the ummah, but overall killing and bloodshed and wars would be increased. And he predicted that people would kill one another for no reason whatsoever. And this was unknown. Mass shootings that are common in this land, we grow up and we are accustomed to them. Every few days we wake up and some crazed lunatic has killed people for absolutely no reason. We are accustomed to it. We need to understand this phenomenon does not take place anywhere in the world other than this land. You all know this. Anywhere in the world, this really does not take place. Number 1. Number 2, even this is a recent phenomenon. It is unknown in human history that people just go on a mass killing for no reason and kill people. And our Prophet ﷺ said, the judgment day will not come until the killer and the one killed will not know why each one did it to the other. Neither will the killer have a motive, nor the one killed will know, why was I killed? What was the purpose of my killing? Senseless killing. And this was predicted by our Prophet ﷺ, and hadith is in Bukhari.